Hello, I'm Edward Tarte, once a Catholic priest for 5 years in the 1960s, now an atheist, which means I find no credible evidence for the existence of any God. In this video, I am speaking to anyone who will listen, but I am speaking directly to the local Catholic priest, Father TJ, with whom I have been communicating by email, and with whom I, along with hundreds of you viewers, have been communicating through several of my videos and their comment sections. Father TJ, your God is the God of the Bible. You have as your basic premise that your God exists and is all good. As you know, I do not believe in your God or in any God, and I say that the Bible offers overwhelming evidence that your God is evil. You have the task, and you have been undertaking the task, of defending your God. I say you have failed to defend your God, and if you continue to try, you will continue to fail because your God is indefensible. To support my contention, I offer in this video 3 examples. My first example is the biblical account of your God commanding Abraham to kill his son Isaac as an act of worship, and then having an angel tell Abraham at the last moment that your God did not really mean it. Recently, in your church, you delivered a homily defending your God's behavior in this episode. In my video, I presented the audio of your homily in full. In over 100 comments, there is a very strong consensus that in your homily you did not adequately defend your God, and that in fact your God in that episode is indefensible. In response to those 100 or more comments, you wrote this one comment. Why all the anger in the comments? I don't have this kind of anger and disdain for you and your beliefs. There is always room in a church near you if you want to turn that anger into joy. One of the commenters, Isbo10, gave what I think is a good reply summarizing the situation. He said, I think the anger comes from the fact that we realize at some point this world must advance past Iron Age mythology and move on. The harm done by your religion needs to end. So, TJ, this is my first example of your inadequacy in defending your God. My second example occurred also within the comments to that same video. In a comment of my own, I summed it up this way. TJ, a number of commenters have challenged you to reconcile your belief in your all-good God with the account in Judges chapter 11, in which your God allows Jephthah to kill his own daughter as an act of worship. Will you please respond? Are you going to say, as you have said on previous occasions, that we are taking it out of context, or that if we only had faith, we would understand? And TJ, you replied, I've never had to preach on this passage because it doesn't show up in our cycle. I'll have to do some reflecting on this scripture. If it means that much to you, I'd suggest asking God yourself in the meantime. I'm sure that he would appreciate hearing from you again. TJ, so far that is the last I have heard from you on this topic. So far you have not defended your God against what I would call this second situation in which your God is indefensible. My third and final example in this video occurred in the comments section of one of my earlier videos. TJ, a commenter asked you, what is it that you don't understand about the Old Testament passage in which your God says, you may keep slaves, and so on? TJ, you replied, It says you may keep slaves, not you must keep slaves. Besides, that was the old covenant. We are now in the new covenant. TJ, do you realize how inadequate your reply is? So you worship a God who once upon a time said that slavery is okay. And there are also New Testament passages endorsing slavery. Your God should have said clearly, slavery is wrong. You must not own another human as property. Again, TJ, you fail to defend your God. Your God is, in fact, indefensible. And that is also the case in many other ways in many other biblical passages. As I say in my morally inferior video, you worship a God who is your moral inferior. And you are convinced that you have to worship this God or you will go to hell. As I discuss in my dilemma video, that is the supreme dilemma that surpasses all other dilemmas that humans face. And TJ, you have made as your life's work teaching others, adults, teens, and little children, to worship this God. That is what I did as a priest from 1963 to 1968. And I now say to my former self, shame, shame. The way out of the dilemma, TJ, is to do what I have done. Face the fact that there is no solid evidence to believe in your God or any God. To all of you, thank you for watching this video.